Let me tell you a story. Not a loud one. Not that kind that makes headlines or get passed around at dinner tables. It's quiet, subtle, almost invisible. It's the story of a man. Well, not a man really, but many men. Maybe even you. You know, this man wakes up before the sun. He showers, he shaves, puts on clothes that make him look like he's got everything together. He grabs coffee, maybe something quick to eat, and disappears into the world. A world that expects things from him, constantly. But here's the thing, he doesn't even know it's happening. Because he's swimming in it, like a fish in water. He doesn't see the culture around him. He doesn't see the quiet rules that shape every move he makes. The unspoken code that tells him, your job is to endure, to provide, to protect, and never to break. And if he does, well, then he is not a man, right? That's what he's been taught. Not with words, but with nods, with silences, with that kind of praise that only comes when you give everything away. This man has been conditioned to sacrifice. Think back for a moment to World War II, to Japan, to kamikaze pilots. Young men, barely out of their teenage years, strapped into planes and told to fly them into enemy ships. Suicide missions. They were glorified, honored, their faces still hanging on walls, their names etched into stones. Never thought it was beautiful to die for their country. But ask yourself this: would any healthy, joyful, vibrant young man throw away his life, his dreams, his future, without being groomed into it? Without being told over and over that the highest virtue in his life was to sacrifice? That was then, but today, the story hasn't changed all that much. No, we don't send most men to literal war anymore, but the battlefield remains. Now, they die slower, quietly, under the weight of duty, under the pressure to provide, under loneliness, burnout, expectations they never agreed to, but they were born into. Men are still being taught to disappear for their partners, for their kids, for the society, to give and give until there's nothing left. Not just their time, not just their money, but their very sense of self. And here is the part that no one says aloud. We still honor that self-erasure. We still call it manhood. But what if this whole story was wrong? What if it wasn't strong to disappear? What if it wasn't noble to self-destruct quietly while everyone claps? But what if the bravest thing today to do is to refuse? Refuse to be disposable? Refuse to believe that love must be earned through suffering? Refuse to trade his dreams for someone else's comfort? What if boys grew up knowing they had value, not because of what they gave, but because of who they are? What if they were taught that their emotions are real, their desires valid, their pain unacceptable? What kind of world would that create? This isn't fantasy, it's a revolution. And it begins not in the streets, but in the heart of every man who decides, my life matters, my happiness counts, I'm not a tool, I'm not a weapon, I'm not a sacrifice. So here is my question for you. Are you ready to stop being disposable? To stop dying in pieces for the people who told you this was love? To live a life that feels like your own, not someone else's checklist? Because the hardest war you will ever fight, it isn't on a battlefield. It isn't even against other people. It's against the story you were told. And the moment you stop believing that story is the moment everything begins to change.